take me home to the ocean. The friends in my life like stars in the sky, leave the lights on. I'm trying to get back home, the river keeps on flowing to the ocean. Singing tunes for you. When the stars are aligned like the colors in your eyes, greens and blues. It's not winter weather, we'll always be together, that's true. Boom. Sing with us. Ooh, oh, come on. And sometimes I feel like my heart's gonna burst at the seams. And sometimes I think it's just love that we all really want and we need. And sometimes I feel like I'm leaving too much. And sometimes, oh Lord, let it be. Let all of us be free. Oh, come on. Are you searching for the meaning of it all? Because I am, and you should be. Are you trying to make sense of it all, or do you not care? You should care. The ocean and the seas and the wind-blown trees are changing. Oh, everything's changing, baby. Just like we are. And your love for me is all I need to keep believing. Keep believing in yourself. And the angels above me sing that they love me. I love you. They love you. We love you. Traveling alone, so far from home. Home is right here. We are home. I love you. Nobody's leaving without anybody. We're all go together, baby. We are all going together. Only me. Thank you, Stick Figure, for that beautiful song, Angels Above Me. Yes, we have many, 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 many beautiful, beautiful souls watching over us and with us at all times, and many, many beautiful souls all around us at all times. So, we are not alone, and, you know, no one's going to be left behind. Nobody's left behind. We're all here for each other. And that's the main focus right now. So let's start with our thanks today. Thank you for our life today. Thank you for our health. Thank you for waking us up today. Thank you for our breath. Let's just breathe 3 times together, nice and deep through our nose. Hold it in here and then breathe out. 2 more times. One more. We don't stop and think about our breathing enough. We're all looking for some type of a relief or a release from some physical thing. We need to go do something or take something in order to get that relief. But really, why don't we try breathing first? Okay, why don't we take 5 minutes and just focus on breathing? That helps us be in control. And that's what the video is about today, is being in control. So breathing is one of those ways we can help ourselves be in control. So when I'm talking about being in control, I'm not talking about being a dictator, and I'm not talking about controlling others. What I'm talking about is being in control of ourselves, of our actions, of our behavior, of our emotions, and our choices. This is each and every one of our own responsibilities, okay? Many of us struggle with this, and we need a lot of help with this, and that's okay. So what we're all here to do is to learn and to grow, and to mature, and to become better people than we were when we started. But really, it is each one of our own responsibilities to work on this to the point where we're not being triggered and we're not being negatively affected or impacted, but rather we can manage the situation, see it for what it is, and be in control of ourselves in the way we react to it. And what we find is that life is going to always continue to present things to us. It's just about how we react to it and how we're letting it affect us in our lives. And so right now, and for most of our lives and for most people, we're not taught this in school or by our parents. You know, we have to figure these things out, and that's again why I'm here, hoping to help teach and help people understand these types of concepts. But we're kind of just left and thrown out into the world and say, figure it out. And there's a lot of hurtful and negative things out in the world, isn't there? So, you know, even people that had an easygoing childhood, that's great. But then you get out into the world and you find it's not so easy, is it? And then other people have the opposite. They have very hard upbringings, and it doesn't get any easier, does it? So we're left to deal with it in whatever way we figure out to deal with it, I guess. And most of us haven't figured that out. So we react negatively. It's like an instantaneous reaction without thinking. And we do things, we say things, we act a certain way, we treat people and ourselves a certain way, all based off this instantaneous reaction, rather than being able, like I said, to process what's actually happening before we react, and be able to react in the most positive way that we can based on the circumstances. Not every single circumstance or situation allows for an excess amount of time to figure it out. I get that. But as we keep working on the smaller issues and being in control, we'll find it in those moments of those big moments of, wow, we need to something needs to happen right now, and I need to make a choice, or something's impacting me and I need to react, is that based on the work that you've done, you'll have led yourself to a place to make those best choices in that instantaneous moment. Whereas before, it was never a thought that you even had about, how am I supposed to react? Is there a right way or a wrong way to react? You know, causing harm to yourself or others is not the right way to act. If you are being antagonized, it is your choice how you react to that antagonization. Obviously, if somebody's physically attacking you, we have to protect ourselves. But hopefully we're not finding ourselves in those situations too often. If we are, then we really need to think about why are we continuing to find ourselves in these situations, and we need to make a change so that we don't anymore. But really what we're talking about is our normal day-to-day. where you're going out, you're at your job or your work or your home or your family life or your kids, and it's just stressful, and there's things that are unexpected that come up, or the unexpected bill that comes up, right? Or the unexpected injury or illness that comes to someone in the family, or just something, anything that kind of throws us off track, right? It's those things that we're talking about that we can allow to beat us up, break us down, and literally like depress us to the point where, and anger us and sadden us to the point where we're making choices and reacting in a way that isn't us and isn't how we want to be. It's that we're not being able to absorb this in a healthy way, and it's really impacting us. It's like infecting us instead of us being able to process through it and let it go. It's easier said than done, of course, but the more you keep doing it, the easier it will become. Let's just take a simple example. If you're someone who's got children, young children, we understand, or I can understand now, being in that same place right now, it can be very stressful, and it's very easy to throw your hands in the air, get mad at your kids, and ruin the whole day over it, right? Or it's just the next thing. That's what I keep saying. Every day, the thought that came to my head yesterday is, how many times have you read a story or a book, or someone's telling you something about a story, and then the phrase this comes out, and then one day, right? It's always, and then one day this happened, and then one day. So each day is a new process of things. It's a new experience. There's new things coming at you, new things that you're coming into. And so we have to, it's not just wake up every day and it's the same. That would be boring, and it would be no point to life. Every day is a naturally different day. It's all a flow. And so whatever's coming is coming, and it's on us to be able to process and deal with that. I love the Outcast line, you can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. And that's what it's all about. We're not supposed to be sitting here trying to dictate that every single day should be sunny and beautiful, because guess what? That's not what nature needs. Nature needs some darkness, and nature needs some rain, and nature needs some cold sometimes, right? So it's all about a balance. But we can't wake up into this world every day and be mad at it for what it's giving us. We are the ones that are putting out the message, and life's reflecting back to us, really is what happens. So if we want to wake up in a more peaceful, calm, and sane world, then we need to be those things. And how do we do those things? Being in control. The more we are out of control, the more life's going to be out of control. So the more we keep taking these circumstances, experiences, and situations each day in, and saying, thank you, life, for my breath, thank you for my life today, and thank you for presenting me with this experience that I have to learn from and grow from and understand, and become a better person because of it, not get angry about it. This is all being in control. Taking time to think and to write. This is being in control. We all have a lot of things on our minds and a lot of things on our hearts that are weighing down on us, that take up space. The more you are congested, the less in control you are, because you're dealing with all these things. And if you're dealing with a bunch of things, how in control can you be? The more we can eliminate the baggage and eliminate the negative thoughts and feelings, the lighter we are, the freer we are, the healthier we are, and the more in control we are. Again, all comes back to being in control. Being in control of yourself. Taking it upon yourself to do the right things, to heal yourself. So, thinking and writing. It's an amazing, amazing process. For somebody who's in a negative mindset, they're going to write this idea off. And write this idea off, isn't that funny? But they're going to write this idea off of writing because they don't want to. Because they know that it means that they're going to do work and they're going to have to face their issues and face their problems and things like that. But again, that's what we're all here to do. And that goes back to our responsibilities, our own self-responsibilities to do this work. So you have to be honest with yourself, first of all. And you need to sit down with a pen and a piece of paper. And without really trying to think about what you want to write, you just need to let yourself just be for a second and allow whatever the troubles or the thoughts that are the first things that are coming up, that's the first things you want to write about. Those are the things that are most present, that are weighing on you the most. So I'm going to start writing about what I'm feeling. So for an example, I could just give an example for me, is you're not getting good sleep. You're exhausted. You're tired. I could just write those lines down, what I just said to myself. That gives me a starting point of something that's affecting me in this moment. For me, that is the truth. That is one of the things that is weighing on me and affecting me, is my lack of good sleep, consistent sleep, and a full night's rest. I know many of us are also dealing with that same thing, and that's why it's so hard for us to keep doing the right things each day, is because we are exhausted, and all we want to do is just get some damn rest. So how can I go about being this great person if I'm exhausted, right? I get it. It's also what comes back full circle into the day's experience, what the day presented to me today. I cannot wake up being mad at life because I didn't get sleep. I could have made different choices throughout my day and set myself up in a different way, potentially, to get more sleep. So am I necessarily doing all the things to lead me into the best place for myself? Maybe not. And that's where it comes into about being honest with ourselves. We don't like to hear those things. We like to just, oh, I'm doing it all. I can't do it. No, maybe you're not doing it all. Maybe you're doing a lot. And maybe a lot of things you're doing are the wrong things too. A lot of people spend their time doing the wrong things, and they think I'm doing a lot of things. And yeah, you are, but probably because you're doing a lot of wrong things. Maybe if you stop doing those wrong things, you'd have time to do the right things. So write down what you're feeling. Write down what's affecting you. Write down what's right there in the forefront of your mind and your heart, and get started somewhere. Just getting that out is like talking to a best friend or somebody, or a therapist. I don't believe in those things. I believe that we can talk to people and get things out. I don't believe that we necessarily have to share all of our deepest and darkest secrets with some random person. It's about communicating with the people that it's involved with. This is again, it got me back onto the religion thought. If any of you have ever been in the religion, or at least a Catholic or Christian religion, there's this process called confession, where instead of going and talking to your wife about that you cheated on her, I'm gonna go tell this priest that I did something bad. And what's funny about this confession thing is that there's a wall between you. So they're wanting you not to even, it's like you're not even speaking to anybody. You're gonna speak to a generic nothingness where that doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna speak to somebody that has no weight and no validation into what I'm dealing with. And I'm gonna tell them an issue that I'm having, and then they're gonna tell me to say some prayers, and that makes me better. It's not how it works. And same thing, going to a therapist and telling your therapist, I cheated on my wife, doesn't help. It doesn't help. What is that person, what role do they play in your relationship that's gonna help that situation? Nothing. What it takes is you going to your wife and saying, I have something to tell you. That's how it is. Okay? It's about that's being in control. That's being a strong person. That's being an honest person. If your person doesn't have anyone in your life to speak with, I understand. We need to have someone to speak with. But most of the things that we're dealing with internally are involved with relationships with people that are in our life. So we can resolve them with those people, or at least express ourselves to those people. And if we can't, because they're no longer with us, or they're somewhere where we cannot contact them, we can always put that heart's intention out and that mind's intention out to that person and communicate that way. Say, I'm sorry, or say what I have to say, and let you know that I hope that you're in the best place possible, and I hope that that these things that have happened aren't affecting you in a negative way. So let's be strong, let's be honest, and let's be in control. Let's not try to push our problems onto a therapist or a preacher or a priest, or our best friend who has no role, or wasn't involved in the situation, putting it off on somebody else. Because guess what? All the things we just talked about, now you're just putting more of negative things onto somebody else that now they're gonna have to go home with and deal with, and say, wow, Jimmy told me all these things that, man, that's a lot, that's heavy, I gotta go deal with all this stuff. Deal with it. You deal with it. You deal with it. And then come talk to me about how you dealt with it, so I can be proud of you. That's what I can say. Wow, Jimmy didn't come to me with his problem. Jimmy came to me with this story about how he had these problems and he worked really his ass off and worked through it. And wow, I can really see he's in a great place. I'm proud of Jimmy. Not Jimmy put his problems on me and now I got to deal with Jimmy's problems. You see? So be in control. Don't put it off on somebody else. It's your work. It's your job. It's your problems. Whether it was done to you or you did it to somebody, it's still your problem to deal with. It's important to be able to have somebody that understands what you're going through. Just having somebody that can relate is what we're looking for. If I was a Major League Baseball player and was trying to communicate my career and my passion to somebody who didn't know what baseball was, they might find it interesting, but there will never be this relatable dialogue about that and an understanding of where I'm really coming from. And so to find another Major League Baseball player or somebody else who is invested into that sport, when I communicate with that person now, the dialogue is much different and it's much more personal and it's much more intimate. You're not any less of a person if you don't have that person in your life. It's just something to keep working towards. Keep working on yourself. Keep healing yourself. And one of these days, you'll bump into somebody, or life will bump someone into you for a reason, because you're ready to meet, because the conversation now is ready to be had. And you're going to say, finally, you're going to realize during that conversation that this is all happening because of the work I've put in. And same thing on that other person's end, whether they realize it or not, the reason they are ready to have that conversation with you is because the same thing. They're doing their work and ready to meet you. And this is how our lives keep moving on and our stories keep expanding. You think right now, I have my story and this is what it is, but then one day, which could be today or tomorrow or the next day, everything can change. Everything can change, and you can change, and life can change, and this is not a stale or static existence that we are living in. It's not like a painting that we wake up and it's just the same thing every day. It's changing. It's ever changing, just like we are. That is what's so cool about it. We don't know what to expect. We just know that life is this very magical, beautiful thing, just like we are. And if we can do magical and beautiful things, life can also do those things, and that's the beauty of it. And so the days are magical, our existence is magical, our lives are magical, and it's about us buying into that and believing that about ourselves in this place that we're in, and loving it and loving ourselves for that. And then everything is going to turn around, and you can bet on that. So I know I went off on a lot of different subjects here and a lot of different avenues. I think they all kind of tie into each other for what we're talking about here. But just to summarize, or I guess to bring it back to what we were originally talking about, being in control, I would just like everybody from this video moving forward is to focus on breathing. It's so hard to remember to do it, right? Even though we do it constantly all day long without thinking about it, right? But it's so hard to actually think about breathing because we're doing so many things and our minds are occupied with so many things. It's hard just to remember, breathe. So whether it's time that you have, you know, just a little free time that you have, time before bed, time in the morning, time when you're in the shower, in the bathroom, when it's your personal time. Whenever you can find time and you're aware of it, I want you to think about breathing, and I want you to breathe. That act lets life know you are in control. You're doing a in control action. I'm taking the time to breathe for myself. When you're breathing in, what are you breathing in? Life. Making that connection. Bonding. Becoming one. Okay? So focus on breathing. That's number one. Number two, focus on processing what is happening before you decide to react. And again, I know it's easier said than done, and I know sometimes it feels like I don't have time to process before I react. But if you try it next time. Before you open your mouth, before you walk away, or whatever you do, take in what just happened, like it was a scene of a movie or a page of a book you just read, and you say, this was just presented to me. I'm going to take it in and say, what's the best way to react here? Maybe I was about to scream back at the person, but now because I processed it, I realize I don't have to do that. All that's going to do is anger me more and cause me stress and pain inside. So what I'm going to do is very politely let the person know, I didn't really appreciate that, and I'd appreciate if we move on from what we're dealing with here, right? Something positive instead of a backlash. Try that. What you're going to find is that's going to make you feel like you have a sense of being in control. You're going to say, I just took control of that situation. Now you're doing it. Now you've got results. And when we're actually physically doing something, life takes notice of that, and it reflects and reacts back to us. So then life becomes more in your favor and more in your benefit, because it's no longer so much about teaching you a lesson about being in control, but you're showing that you are. So now it's on to the next thing, bigger and better things, and now you're in control, so we can set you up with a life that's in control. So breathing and processing. Breathing and processing. I'm going to leave it at that. We could keep going on, but that's two really big things to focus on and to work on. And we can all understand those simple things. Breathing and processing. So focus on that moving forward in your day-to-day, in your circumstances and situations that you're dealing with. Breathing and processing. And then, just the tail end, I'll add one more, is I have to keep expressing the writing. The writing is what's going to help you deal with all of this, all of these things that's going on in your life. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. And if you feel brave enough, share that. Share that story like I am, because it helps other people understand, helps them relate and say, I'm not the only one going through it, but also maybe I'm learning something from what you wrote about how you're dealing with it, or that's going to help me in my own experience. So write it down, share it. Once you get it out, you feel freer. You feel like, all right, I'm not, that thing isn't so prominent anymore, and I can move on to something else, right? Move on to something else. I love you. That's all I can keep saying is I love you, and I'm proud of you, and keep working your butt off, and you're doing great. You're doing absolutely phenomenal. This is a very, very, very hard endeavor, and all of us are doing the best that we can. And that's all that can be asked, to do the best that you can. There is no script. There is no rules. There is no instruction booklet. We are all trying to do the best that we can with this existence and this experience, this reality that was presented before us. It's all we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is figure out what's the right way. What is the best way? And then stick to that and commit to that. And if we can all do that, we're going to find ourselves in a beautiful, beautiful world and place to live in a beautiful home. So I love you, and keep having a great day today. If you want to talk, I'm here. Otherwise, you keep rocking it out and doing what you're doing, and keep being a beautiful light and example to others that it can be done. I love you. You got this, and I got you. Have a great day and a great weekend.